Difficulty level just jumped up 56.23% instead of square here. Gonna put a radius. Like a challenge. So basically I forgot. They're crooked. They're crooked as the day is long. There we go. That's a little better. A few things over there. I'm gonna guess that I have $773.82 with all my change. Yep. I've even got some somewhere over in an old tackle box over there. I have to add that. Okay, this is gonna be a banquette. We have some rather unique situations for a banquette. So it's gonna be a banquette slash a day bed. With a few more twists that got added yesterday, I believe. So I'll spin you around, kind of show you what we're gonna do. I don't have time to video a bunch of stuff today, but we'll go over this real quick and I'll try to get some more video of what I'm doing. I don't want to bore y'all with a bunch of stuff. But anyhow, I'll spin you around and show you what we're up to. Okay, if you can see that, that's going to be a banquette. The wood starts with this little arch, comes down. That's going to be a 3.5 inch solid piece down through there. That'll go back to the wall. There'll be a little shelf built after that is installed up and to underneath the window trim. That's the apron, that's the stool, that's the window and actual glasses there. So that's to scale. And she's gonna get a 5-inch cushion across there. She's having one made. So the other night, to give her something to look at, this is part of the banquette. It's about 5 inches long because I wasn't sure if we changed something. I didn't want it to be too short. So this is going to be my pattern now that it's approved. I've got to make a few adjustments because there's going to be a rug. She wants a rug to be able to slide underneath it. But this needs support. So now I'm going to have to notch this bottom up back so far where that rug will stop because it has to center on our dining room table. And then I'm going to have to find some adjustable legs to go in there so we could adjust it up, slide the rug in, and somehow screw the legs down so we have a support point there, because that that's kind of cantilevered out. And if you have 4 or 5 people on it, you're liable to have 1,000 pounds sitting across this thing. It's going to be 12 foot, a little right at 12 foot wide. So here are my dimensions. If that thing will, I don't think it'll zoom in. Nope, need to clean my lens. There's a bay of windows. Window, 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 window. That's all my measurements to the trim. And instead of going wall to wall or edge of window to edge of window, now, so she has a little more room, this one's going to come out full length. This one on the edge is going to be, I don't know, 8 to 12 inches long, depending on the radius. And now we got to add a radius in there. We got to add a radius with this. Going to come around and tie all that together. So this dotted line right there that you probably cannot see, we'll have to make another one of these to kind of come across at an angle for some structural support. Because you get 200 pounds bouncing out here in midair, it's gonna be too bouncy. But we're making it out of some 4x4 Doug fir. Just bought it at a local box store. Unfortunately, it has eased edges on it. So I got to rip these down just a little bit. So I have square edges. And then I'll run it through my planer. Get some of these old chamfered up mill marks out of it. So when I bolt it, or glue it, clamp it, and bolt it all together, it'll make a nice compact tight fit. I'm going to cut a couple of these up. Takes two to make one of them. If you're watching, we appreciate it. We got them planed down. Didn't take very long, actually. Had to run it through the planer. You know, I kept flipping sides. I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times. So I'll spin you around and show you. So now they're absolutely all the same. Some little imperfections right there where in that planer it jumps a little bit at the beginning or end. But that's dead smooth right there. Dead smooth. That will get settled and clamped in right. So that worked real good. And quick little contraption that I picked up at the Harbor Freight is this little dust collecting cyclone or whatever they call it. You hook it up to the shop vac, hook another end up to whatever piece of equipment you're running, turn your shop vac on, turn that on, and it sucks the dust out. And actually, instead of taking it to the shop vac, which I usually have a bag and a filter in mine anyway, the majority of it goes down this bucket. Note to self, I need a bigger bucket because I had to stop 2 times, I think, and it was full again. So I filled it up 3 times, planing those few pieces, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. But we'll get the clamps out, get it clamped up, and we'll call it a day because it's getting late. This is supposed to be kiln dried lumber, but it's from a big box store. So it ain't always what they say it is what I'm saying. The little rubber mallet comes in handy. These are some finger pinching son of a guns if you ain't careful. I just take my hammer. I do a rubber mallet so I don't hit it with a metal hammer and booger up this. And then okay, we got them all cut to length and whatever angles they needed. A couple of them needed to be cut on a 45. We made this little notch right here. So when they slide, we'll be able to slide the rug under that. I've still got to come back here and make a little hole to when after that rug is in there, we can adjust that up to keep everything balanced and a nice, not a pivot point, but a load point right there to keep that thing from wanting to teeter over. And then we have these little felt pads so this won't hit the new hardwood floor. Those will go on right down there. Then it gets a board back here and this will get attached to the wall. Let's see, so we've got all that done. We're gonna drill some holes for that. And then we got a little bit of wood filler. Got to patch up a few little spots here and there on all of them. Do a final sand and then a primer coat. And then this section will be ready to install. So after that rug slid in, it'd be kind of hard to get to. We get to it. And that little weight on that pivot point right there. Of course, that'll be in a little more stable. When it's done, I don't want to finish it yet. Those are done. Okay, before our final sanding coat, actually took some wood filler. I like the Bondo wood filler. It's basically the same as car Bondo. It's a different color. Might have the same stuff in it. Smells the exact same. Kind of a 2-part. Mix the hardener with it. And you can see this is my first one I'd already primed, but then I kind of went back, which you won't see any of that. Some of that's glue. I ended up doing things a little bit different on the rest of them and got some a little bit cleaner joints. And you just kind of see just where I went through here. So it's ready for a quick 80 grit than 120 grit, and I may bump it with 220 before I prime it. And then once the primer coat's on, this is ready to install. I may put one coat on it of finish paint, and then after we get it installed, since the house is finished, just kind of a quick light coat, easy, won't have to worry about making such a mess. So there are those pieces, and we're getting close, getting close. Man, this little dust collection system, the Cyclone, is the bomb. Very little dust in here now, and don't have to wear my mask or take it outside. So pretty neat little system set up right there. All right, first coat primer on. I only seen a couple little spots I need to touch up with a little bit of filler. And then another coat of primer, it's ready to go to the job site. And we'll put it all together with painter. I'll put the final coat on it, I think. If not, I will. It's coming along so far. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Well, enough of that. Yep. Happy birthday. Yep. Anyhow, gonna try to finish putting the banquette together today, and it's my birthday, and I get to work from home, so good birthday present. And my wife's, was it yesterday? I think she said, "Oh, tomorrow's your birthday. You're gonna be double nickels." And I don't know if the look came across my face. I'm sure it did, because I was sitting there thinking, she said double nickels and it didn't quite connect. And I was thinking 10 cents. She said, "You're gonna be double nickels." And I was thinking 2 nickels is 10 cents. Ain't 10. And then I got it. I'm a little bit slow. I ain't slow. I just thinking about a lot. I'm going around. I'm thinking all the way around you. All right. Anyhow, we're gonna see if we can get the banquette ready to take to the job site and install. Should be able to get over there on the floors on Friday. So day after tomorrow, I think it is. But speaking of birthday, I've got a wonderful family, wonderful wife, love them all. They got some pretty good presents and all that good stuff, and I bought myself a present. I didn't want to. This one has the tall wheels to move around job site easy. And anyhow, that's it. I'm so excited. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. All right, I'm gonna get to work, and party's over. See you in a little bit. All right, out of the box. 15, 20 minutes. Look at the wheels on that baby. Before I ordered this, I was reading a bunch of the forums or comments, or, the reviews. And not a lot, but there were several people on there saying how much trouble they had reading the instructions of putting this thing together. Well, there's like six or 8 bolts and a couple nuts and washers. It's not that difficult. So quit complaining about that. It was easy. It's simple. It's even marked ABC. And then if you're having trouble putting this together, you probably don't need to be operating it, because you're gonna lose some digits. I ain't saying anything bad about you, I'm just saying. It's like, come on, people, it ain't that difficult. If this was that difficult to you, then you probably don't need to be operating it, is what I'm saying. Anyhow, happy birthday. Now keep in mind all my trim, all the bottom pieces all center with the window moles. And some of these window moles are wider than these pieces, like these are 3 3/8. And the 3 center moles on the windows are like 6 1/2. So those are all centered on this, but I've centered the arch on the outside of the trim. So if you're looking at it, not that you'd really see it, but you might, I could. The end radius ends with the very beginning edge of the window trim looking straight on forward. But to get my radius, I'll figure my radius out, find my pivot point, screw it down or tack it down, and my radius is 32 3/4. So from the edge of this board here back to there, I mismeasured there. That's 32 3/4, screwed down, made sure it's screwed right on my point, and then I just take my pencil and use that to get that good radius point. And what I was saying a while ago, like these 2 lines right here is where this sits. But if you're looking at the window, the edge of the trim up above that you kind of catch with your eye, I brought that radius will start there. And I also didn't want to bring that radius to that point in case something gets a little off, which it's not going to, but just so it's not right there at that kind of weird at that point radius and around that one. Kind of had to back there. But anyhow, so then we will, I'll take this board off, we'll stick this up here, and then we'll mark where this one goes, which is the one has that angle on a 45. And then we'll cut this out. Then we're gonna come over. This is the center board. Of course, this thing's a little over 12 feet, so I'll come down here and cut the center. There'll be a joint in this. And then I'll do all my measurements for the other side and get it cut, marked out, cut the radius on it, and then this thing is ready to go to the job site. Should be tonight. I got a lightly sand and I got the finish paint, the actual job site finish paint. Put a coat on these, so after we install it, all we have to do is a quick light coat, just a quick final, because everything's finished in there to keep us from less likely chance to dribble paint on a new floor. All right, I'll shut up. I'll go to work. Happy birthday to me. Pretty good. Alright, so when I cut, I usually try to stay to just this side of the pencil mark. You can kind of barely see it, maybe right in there. I stay to this side and then I take my belt sander and I can adjust. But everything floats out nice. Like I said, after everything's on, in between some of these I get some little supports, but big piece of trim covering this edge up, cushion up here. All right, there's half of it. That thing's big. Dang, that's huge. This one's gonna go here. Where's that rubber mallet? The carpenter's friendliest tools. All right, here we go. This is going to be the banquette slash day bed. Of course, it's upside down right now. Although this piece, that, and the far end piece all lined up with a bay of windows. This is in here for support. And then, of course, it's flipped up the other way when it's installed. And on the back right here, there'll be about a little 8 by 8 inch shelf that goes right up underneath the apron of the window. And that's it. I really don't need to paint the bottom of that. If I do, I'll paint it over there before I put it in. But I got all my marks, so we'll wait. Don't need to be painted. There ain't nobody gonna be up underneath there. Cat, meow. But that's it. It goes like that. And then this piece of trim here, I have to cut that on the job site because I got to glue it, kind of tack and screw it into this radius piece. And we're in pretty good shape. Maybe a couple more hours. And 3 or 4 hours to install. Probably a couple hours to install, and then a quick coat of paint. A little some shoe mold down around the ends. But that's it. Coming along nicely. 12 foot by 44 inches. Banquette / daybed. I can't wait to see what fabric she puts on it. And a happy birthday to me. What is it? Yummy. I have a guide if I'm ripping a bunch of stuff, but if I have just a few pieces, show you a trick I learned over the years. You get your blade set, keep your hands tucked up, so if something happens it ain't around there. You squeeze right here and let that fingernail ride the edge of the plywood. Straight line. Straight, straight, straight.